Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel My Time My Teachers. In this video we will talk about class 12th sociology, second chapter of second book, cultural changes. As we talked about in first chapter of the book, structural changes, that how many changes took place in the structures of India. But here in the second chapter, we will talk about only the cultural changes, right? Cultural changes, before coming to cultural changes, it is better to understand what is culture. The changes related with culture, they are called cultural changes. So, culture is basically a mixture of three things. One is customs, second beliefs, and the third one is lifestyle. When all these three are combined together, that is called culture, right? Now we will talk about all these three separately. Customs are which we are getting from our ancestors, from our grandparents, from our parents, from somebody old in the society, because these are the systems which pass on from generation to generation, which are followed by everyone without raising a question, right? For example, the ceremonies which happen at the birth of a child, the ceremonies which happen at the wedding ceremony of someone, or the ceremonies which happen at the death of someone. These are all called customs. We can also add the festival celebrations in it, because every family, every caste, every religion is having different style of celebrating festivals. That all comes under the category customs. The second one is belief. What is belief? Belief is like something we believe in the God. We believe that if we are in the problem, then God will come to help us. God is there to help everyone. It is true that nobody has seen the God till now, but still everyone believes in God. The reason is only one, that is belief. The belief that is also given by us to our ancestors. They taught us to believe in particular God in which they also believe. If we talk about the Hindu culture, we see there are so many gods. But a particular family, a particular caste believe in a particular God. The reason is belief. They do not believe in all gods and goddesses, because they follow the same pattern which is followed in their family since long. The belief is something inside themselves, in their soul, that this thing will be right or this thing will be wrong. When the God is going to help them and when not. That all is the matter of belief. The next is lifestyle. The lifestyle means when the people, they are worrying about their dressing sense, their eating habits, they are talking to the people, the language, the standard, that all comes under the category lifestyle. How the people, they are worrying about it. Changing the lifestyle is also not so easy. A particular caste, religion, a family is belonging to a particular lifestyle. You can take about the dresses of the males, dresses of the females in the family, dresses of the young girls, boys. You can also think about the food habits of the family. Somebody eats non-veg, somebody eats veg only, somebody eats both. Another type of family, those who do not even like to prefer the garlic and onion. That is the lifestyle of the family. When we are mixing all these together, it becomes culture, right? And the changes which happened in culture, that is the content of this chapter. That how the cultural changes take place in Indian society. Now we are coming back to our system. Since 1947 we are independent. But what about before that? Before that we were ruled by the Britishers, Before Britishers, we were ruled by Mughals and some other foreign invaders. What happened to them? If we talk about since beginning, if we talk about Mughals and other foreign invaders, they came to India only to loot. There was only one motive, that we are going to loot the country. We are going to loot the resources of the country so that we can be rich while the Indian people, they will be poor enough. When the people, they came with the mindset of looting the country, they never tried to do any kind of betterment for the people of India. If we talk about the infrastructure, they never did anything. If we take the name of 2-3 kings like Akbar, Ashok, Shah Jahan, we find that these were the kings, those who did a little bit for the countrymen. But others, the names are not supposed to be taken because they have not done anything for the betterment of Indian people, for the betterment of Indian society, for making any kind of infrastructure to make the life smoother. Overall, we can say that the period before Britishers, it was not good for Indian society. The Indians, neither they were getting infrastructure, not they were getting any support from the government, from the ruling kings. When the Britishers came to India, they came with two motives. The one motive was obviously to loot, to earn profit, and another motive was to rule the kingdom, to rule the country for a longer time. Whenever we are talking about the loot, about profit, that goes well because every businessman would love that. But if we talk about the ruling the people is not so easy. Why the ruling is not easy? Because if we want to rule the people, then we need to do something for their welfare, for the welfare of the country, for the welfare of society. That was the only reason. Because of that, the Britishers, they worked in the field of infrastructure, they worked in the field of culture. From there we get the history of cultural changes in the Indian society, not before that. Now see, during the Mughals and other ruling, there was no social reformer who took birth, because the government, the kings, they were not allowing anybody to raise voice against them or to be a leader of the people. But when the Britishers came, the social reformers also took birth. Why the social reformers took birth? They took birth because there were a lot of social evils which were in fashion in the society. Everyone was following that. Since it was the ruling of Britishers, the Britishers who never saw any kind of social evil in their society, in their own country, when they came to India, they found the first and the biggest thing was the casteism. The division of society on the basis of caste. They never found that in their own country, but in India only. The caste, they were implemented so fairly in the society that no one was daring to change the caste or to mix with them. It was kept very clearly and far away from one another. The intercaste marriages were not allowed. Leave about intercaste marriages. Even the touching of the materials, touching of the food, touching of the human body, entering into the house of the upper caste, that was not allowed for the Shudras or for the lower caste people. It was only possible in India, and when the Britishers saw this, they got quite shocked. After that, there were other social evils also, like child marriage. Child marriage, which was the reason of so many other evils. For example, the child, the girl child, the boy child, those who were getting married at the very early age of 13, 14, 15 years, it was not possible for them to understand the life, understand the responsibility of the family at that particular age. Forget about that also. Think about another situation, a girl who got married at the age of 13, 14. And soon after the marriage, at the age of 15 or 16, she became widow. Her husband died because of an accident, because of any disease, or because of any other reason. She became widow at the age of 15 or 16. Then now she still has the whole life to survive, the whole life to live. But the society, the evils in the society did not allow her to live happily. Nobody wanted to see her face. Nobody wanted to let her touch anything. Nobody wanted her to wear the colorful clothes. Nobody wanted her to enjoy any celebrations. At the age of 15, the girl who still is a child was quite unable or was restricted from entering all the auspicious occasions from the society. The life of that girl child has become completely hell, or we can say more hellish. When the life of a widow was not supposed to be good, then the Sati Pratha took birth. Instead of living the whole life in hell, it is better to die in a single day. When the husband is dying, when the husband is buried, when the husband is just cremated, at the same time the wife of that person was also buried in the name of Sati Pratha. The society was having the name of Sati Pratha, but at least it was good for the girl who was going to spend her whole life in the hell. Then it is better to burn alive on the single day. The child marriage gave birth to the problem of widows and the problem of Sati Pratha. But when it was all during the British time, the Britishers just tried to do something for the welfare of society, and we got social reformers. For example, we got Raja Ram Mohan Roy, we got Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, we got Dayanand Saraswati, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Dayanand Saraswati. These were the people, those who did a lot of hard work to remove these evils of child marriage, widow remarriage and Sati Pratha from the society. It was not easy for them to remove these evils from the society because the people, they thought it is their custom. We can't stop that. We can't let the girl be of 20 years or more than 20 years. We are supposed to get the marriage before 15. If somebody is died, then the girl has to live the life of a widow or the Sati Pratha. These three people, they did a lot of hard work. They went from pillar to post to convince the people regarding all these problems. They debated everyone, everywhere regarding the issues. It was not because that these people were having the problems in their family, but they took this all for the society, for the welfare of the people. They went to everyone so that the people, they can understand the value of these problems. That was only possible because the British government that was supporting them. It was not possible without the help of Britishers. Because the Britishers, they knew that these problems are going to decay the society longer. So it is better to stop it as soon as possible. And ultimately they did so. If we talk about modern communication and transport, modern communication and transport. If we talk about modern communication, Britishers were the first people who started postal services. They were the first people who started telegram. It is true that they started these things for their own benefit, to pass the messages from one office to another, from one industry to another. But at the same time, it is also true that the people of India were also using it. They were getting the job opportunities in this. They were getting the benefits of this. They could also send their messages, their letters from one place to another. The reasons for the development, for the changes in the Indian society. Transport, the Britishers, they started railways. They started the railways to take the things, take the raw material, take the production from one place to another. But at the same time, the railways, the railway track, the railway carriages, they were also used to carry the people from one place to another. How it was all done? All was required for the welfare of Indian society. Because of these all, we got lot of changes. The people could reach from one place to another very quickly. Otherwise, if it was not required for them to go anywhere, they could send a letter. These both things helped us a lot in the matter of freedom struggle. When the freedom fighters were fighting again for the freedom, they were moving from one place to another using the railways. They were sending their letters informing others about their campaigns, about their programs. That was with the help of postal services. Now come to Sanskritization. If we divide the society into two categories, higher caste and lower caste, then we see a great difference between these both. The higher caste people, those who are rich, those who are landlords, those who belong to either Brahmin or Kshatriya community. Lower caste, especially the people, those who are Shudras, those who are scheduled caste, those who are poor, those who are working as a laborer, those who are not having the proper facilities to survive. Now the question is, when the lower caste people, they saw the higher caste people following anything good, dressing up in a good sense, eating something great, behaving in a special way, speaking the language, English or some other, then these people of lower caste, they started to follow the higher caste people. Even though not in a proper way, but somehow they were trying to imitate them, they were trying to copy them. Because they wanted to become just like the higher caste people. The process of imitating higher caste people by the lower caste is called Sanskritization. Right? The Sanskritization, the process when the lower caste people, they are trying to become, trying to behave, trying to live life just like the higher caste people. It is true that everyone wants to live the life of rich person. Nobody likes to be poor, nobody likes to be in the lack of something. So that is no doubt, they also want to do the same as every human wants to do. But the way how they were doing, that was quite different. When the Britishers came, they saw the lower caste people, that how they were just living their life under the particular edge. They tried to take them up. They tried to take the help of the Shudras, take to the help of the lower caste people, because in Britain there is no concept of lower caste, no concept of untouchability. But the Indian people, they are quite worried about untouchability, purity and pollution. What happened? Because of that, they employed the lower caste people in their offices, in their houses, so that they could get some money, they give some money to the lower caste people. Because of that, they were getting money and they were getting respect as well. Because at the time, those who were working, those who were very close to the Britishers, they were supposed to be powerful. The Britishers were teaching them the language English just in order to, so that they can make the life of people easy. Now the people of lower caste, they were trying to become, as well as they were trying to become more popular among those people, because they were only few who were getting employment from the Britishers. Right? The reason of becoming popular, becoming respected in the society, the Sanskritization. Another benefit which the Britishers got is, because these lower caste people, they never got any respect in Indian society. The higher caste people were not giving any respect to them any time. When they got respect by the Britishers, they felt very happy and they were ready to cooperate them up to, or we can say beyond the limit. Because the Britishers became just like God to them, giving respect to them, giving money to them, helping them. So in response to it, the lower caste people were also responding them, were also helping them in all the way. They were telling what is happening in the society, what is happening in the villages, what is happening in the neighborhood. The Britishers got double benefits out of these people. Now the next is Westernization. What is Westernization? As the name suggests, Western. When we are learning something from the Western countries, that process is called Westernization. Western countries, again we are talking about England and others. Why? Because when the Britishers came to India, they brought everything. Before that, the Indian people, they were poor enough, they were living in the villages, they were not getting any facilities, no exposure to the outside world. But the Britishers, when they came, they were the center of attraction for Indian people. Everything which belonged to the Britishers, it was good for the Indian people. If we talk about their dresses, their eating habits, the furniture, the decoration, decorative items, the language, the religion, the dresses. Nowadays every Indian is wearing trouser, jeans, t-shirt, shirt. We got it from the Britishers, right? Before that, Indians were using kurta, dhoti, kurta, pajama. Britishers gave us the system of wearing trousers and the shirts, wearing shoes. This is, we copied from the Western people. Eating habits, we talk about eating non-veg, eating different kind of dishes, eating on dining table, eating in plates, eating with fork and knife. That all is the copy of Western countries, the Britishers. We talk about the furniture, having sofa, having dining table, having a bed, that we have copied from the Britishers. Indian culture was never having all these things. They were using charpai to sleep, they were sitting on the floor to eat. But now nothing happens. If it was the time to sit, instead of chairs, instead of sofa, they were using moodies or takhat or something else. But the Britishers have changed the furniture also in our house, in our drawing room, in our bedroom. The decorative items, whatever we needed, the systems, the modern gadgets, modern technology, television, electric fans, that all we got from the side of Britishers. They taught us to live with them. They taught us to have them in our society, in our family. If somebody does not have these furnitures, decorative items, then the person is supposed to be poor or backward enough. If we talk about the language English, that also we got from the Britishers. They opened the schools in Indian society with the introduction of English language. The reason was they wanted the Indian people to help them by learning English language in their administration work, in their offices, in their houses. But ultimately it became a tradition, and nowadays life without English language is quite incomplete. If you are PhD in Hindi, does not matter, but you should know English, otherwise your life is just nothing. The trend, the mindset of the people in nowadays in modern India, that is the gift of westernization. If we talk about the religion, we already had so many religions in India, but still the attraction went towards Christianity. Attraction went towards the festival of Christmas. The reason? Because the Britishers, they were following, they were celebrating. Nowadays you see on the occasion of Christmas, you will not find the difference between the religions. The people of every religion, especially the children, they celebrate the festival of Christmas. They go outside, they buy cake, they have a Christmas tree in their house. They exchange gifts. They are celebrating their own festivals also, but at the same time, they are much attracted towards Christianity, towards the festivals, towards the rituals. The ritual of casteism is also gone. Now the people, they are not worrying about the casteism much. Earlier it was divided in Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now you can see the people, the children of every religion, every varna, every caste, they are sitting together in the same classroom and getting studied. They are working in the same office. They are sharing the lunch. They are going to the celebrations of each other. That is the effect of westernization. Because we did not want to spoil the ceremonies, spoil the life of people. It is a time to celebrate. It is a time to celebrate all together. Right? Now, our next topic is modernization. The definition of modernization is very simple. The people, those who are Western, the effects of westernization are directly leading us towards modernization. The westernization has led us to modernization. Again, see about the dresses. Again, see about the food. Again, see about the language. If we talk about these three things, then we will come to know the difference between modernization and westernization. That is very less. We can say hardly not. The people, those who are westernized, they are having the western dresses. The people who are westernized, they are following the eating the western food. The people are speaking English because they are quite affected because of westernization. Now take it in opposite way. The people, those who are wearing Indian clothes, are they called modern? No, because they are thought to be backward people. The people, those who are eating Indian food only, not eating non-veg, not drinking wine, are they supposed to be the modern people? No, because the person should know about the effects of westernization also. The people, those who speak only Hindi or regional language, does not know anything about English, are they supposed to be called modern? No. The modernization, the definition of modernization has become quite limited in the context of westernization. If you have copied everything from westernization, then you are modern. For an example, if you are trying about the religion or the caste, if you are not celebrating Christmas, you are not modern. If you are having a discrimination on the basis of caste, you are not modern. If you are having the differences between untouchability and the higher caste, lower caste, the concept of purity and pollution, you are not modern. The modern people are those who are just behaving like a British man, like a Britisher, who are not believing in Indian culture in comparison to British culture. They are called modern. The modernization, the same thing, it also takes us to secularization. If we talk about the secularization, it is written in the preamble of our constitution that India is a secularized country, a secular country. Secular means that no discrimination will be done with everyone on the basis of religion. All the Indians, they are free to practice any religion. The government will not do any kind of discrimination on the basis of religion. That is from the government side. All religions will be treated equally. If you are doing the discrimination, you are not giving respect to other religions, then you are not secular, then you are not modern. Modernization and secularization, they are quite attached to each other. Whenever you are modern, you have to be secular. If you are not secular, you are not modern. The religion that is based on constitution, that is done by the government, but at the lower level, if you are coming into the society, into the villages, we think about the caste. Caste means, again we are coming to the concept of lower caste, upper caste. Again we are coming to the concept of purity and pollution. If you still believe that the lower caste person cannot give you the food, cannot touch your food, cannot touch you, cannot touch your objects, then you are not secular, then you are not modern. The government is not creating any kind of discrimination on the basis of religion. The same thing goes at a lower level, that you should not do any kind of discrimination on the basis of caste. Only then you are secular, only then you are modern. If you want to live in the society, then you have to do it all. Right? Because that is not possible for everyone to live in both the ways. I am going to have the casteism also. I want to be called a modern. I want to follow my own religion. I do not give respect to other religions, but I want to be called modern. That is not possible, because the society will not permit, the government will not permit that. Right? That is all about the cultural changes. Whatever changes we have shown here, the westernization, Sanskritization, modernization, secularization, that all are the effects of Western countries, all are the effects of Britishers, those who ruled here. The removal of social evils, that is also done with the help of Britishers. They brought a lot of changes in our society in every manner. Right? That is called cultural change. Hope this will help you to understand the topic better.